Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith, the In the Black VTF T3 Live here in Chicago with the In the Black Conference. I'm surrounded by all of my best friends in the world right here, right now, as we're meeting here in Chicago. But today, big news: Alibaba goes public, and everybody's been waiting for it. And oh, what a 10 minutes it was! Straight up, straight down, and then there was a little range trading that people did some here, little dipsy doodle, and you did get some rallies in here, and the late rally here. You can see there's a nice inside 30 to capture late here if you did miss all the fireworks. So I wouldn't say much ado about nothing, but we certainly prefer them to stay up and keep ablazed in, but that's okay. That was a tradable. The thing about it was somewhat like a Twitter day, where there was a lot of other stuff going on that kept us busy. If you take a look at the QQQ and the SPY, we got ourselves an outside day, and an outside day we know is a triangle because it makes a higher high and a lower low. You can see this old support line here. The Q's come in and test that almost to the tick-tock ticky, but we're going to have these upper level triangles here that need to be resolved, which means next week when we start off, the Q's, we want them to either trade above today's high or below today's low and stay there for the triangle expansion. What we're going to have in the QQQ next week, to give us a little example of where we might want to be looking, is Apple, as Apple goes inside on the week here. So the question is this consolidation before more new highs, or are they finally going to back it off? Well, we're going to find out. That should help the Qs either way. Inside week for Apple. If we got any problems, the small cap or TNA, look out. Small cap are having all sorts of trouble today, bearish engulfing on the day. You can see still here walking down this series of lower highs. So the small cappers at this point having some issues. We were a little scared of the trannies during the day here, and if you look at the trannies, they're bearish engulfing, however, off the highs. It's not a good sign, but it's not the end of the world when you're coming off the highs. Just potentially upper level triangle. In worst case, maybe come down, test this stuff. Real bad would be down in here, but we're going to see how that plays out come Monday. If we take a look at another group that was weak today, the XOP, and XOP Energies and XLE. If you just look at the 15-minute chart, it's just very obvious trend there in the XOP and the XLE. So this stuff needs to be resolved here too before the market wants to go up to more new highs. There's OIH. So it still continues to be a big sector rotation, albeit S&P with the dividend going to new highs today. So we'll take that. If we take a look at another strong trender from today, GPRE, and this is the kind of chart I want to look for, and then stay short, stay short. Oh, end of the day, let's cover. Bang. And make it real simple. There's also a good example of, sometimes I talk about the continuation triangles, and this is one. You can see how it comes down, and this is how most people would say, oh, if it stays down here and goes sideways, I want to short it for a measured move. Down, sideways, measured move. But more often than not, it's not that simple, because you have this outside bar, then it took out those highs. Really tough to stay short in there. And then after it drops into here, a lot of people have a tough time shorting something that just dropped like that in one day. But really, that was the continuation triangle, and you can see that really nicely there. A couple other good trades that we had today. Amazon, inside day and up, and we could have preferred to have it really scream out of there, but right on the opening it was nice, and we got a lot of that opening chunk out of there. More importantly, going forward, you can see the size of this triangle, and if Amazon can continue and take this out, that would be a nice little move there. If you look at the weekly, you are now weekly hammer to do it, and so we want to continue to see those actionable signals. So today all we had in Amazon was the inside day combination. Now it can flip to more power with a weekly hammer for next week. A couple other nice things to look at for Twitter here at the end of the day, most of the day anyway. If you look at Twitter on the 30-minute, and one of the things we're looking for, the inside bars, but this is a good, perfect example of going after something towards the lows because you know where a triangle is, using the strategy thusly, and then even if you miss it, continuation. And what I mean by that is you can see this drop here, comes in, makes a slight lower low, goes inside 30, and at that point, either the sellers come back, it goes down, sideways measured move and gets killed, or these sellers are gone, exhausted, new buying enters the market. That's exactly what happened right here. Then, if it's going to go back up, it goes slight higher highs. If the triangle is going to come back down, there was your shooter, but that's not what happened. It went inside here, and there's your continuation move. So, just a little example of the way that we do things at In the Black here at the conference in Chicago. A few more other things to keep an eye on for next week. I'm going to be watching the Lulu, and Lulu once again goes reversal strat month here, which by a reversal strat to me is an inside bar taken out on one side, then retaken on the other side. And to reconfirm that, we're going to watch the inside week on Lulu here. Is this an exhaustion of the new buying and it drops back into test again, or do we get the measured move and continue higher? We're going to be watching that. Another thing we're going to be watching in the Dow Jones is going to be Visa, which has been drying up forever, but once again it goes inside, outside, inside again. Usually that's a good indication that something's going to start to give, and we're going to keep an eye on that Visa. So for next week, definitely going to watch that inside week in the Apple. We're going to mind the weakness of the energies. We're going to watch the bearish engulfing and the trannies and the small caps that started off. Going to keep an eye on Lulu and Visa, and other than that, I'm going to hit the charts so you know what to look at. But right now, I'm going out with all the In the Black traders here in Chicago that have met here. Hopefully, everybody has a good weekend. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black VTF here at T3 Live. Yeah!